Hello everyone, I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of In Other Waters. Last episode, we started making our way through the bloom as far south as we could get, at least at first. We've made it almost to this remote lab located down here, which will be very interesting to explore. But before we actually go into the lab, we need to explore around a bit, including finding this sample for these weavers, or nesting weavers or whatever. So we're going to need to make a bit of a run in order to get there. We've got at least some things that we can rely on. I don't know if this is going to necessarily be as useful as things like the fan dust. I mean, it gives us power. The spark colony is a lot better, but the sphere fragments and fan dust give us a lot more air. So, just to make sure there's not something wrong here. Okay, there's still only two. Nope, not the lab. Let's head on out. Gotta make a quick run to the south, see what we can get. This ain't gonna be that easy, but we'll do what we can. At the very least, I think we can get some more fragments while we're here. Which will allow us to keep ourselves alive just that little bit longer. I don't care about this, I care about... Oh, there isn't another one. Okay, well, at least we have one. Alright. And just to try and help out... Even though it's using up a little bit, the faster we go, the faster we can get through this. Okay, that used up a bit, but we can gather up a bit more of this. There we go. Use up all those. We're near max, and we'll do this again. It's our goal, get as far south as we can to the one point we had. Oh, good. We can actually take one of these. A little more air. I think we can actually sample another, which ain't the worst idea. Okay, that's all worn off. I think we can get there through this way. Yes. We can head further south from here in order to get there. Yeah. Oxygen tank filled up. Let's use one of these. Activate the boost. Oh, I see what these are. These are, right, the bloom bubbles. I don't care about those at the moment. I think we're almost there. Okay. Outside this protective bubble, this module has been corroded beyond recognition. A froth of bloom growth covering the rusted plates. And assembled from modules extracted from the base Minae's lab, now exposed to the corrosion of the bloom, sits silently in the silt. We gotta go this way first because we got something we need to pick up. I think this would be just... yeah, more bloom bubbles. Which do actually give us more air. In fact, they give more than the fan dust. Pulled from the base generator, Minae looks to have been using the bloom as a vast microbial fuel cell to harvest her work here. This nest once protected this lab module, but now it is clogged with growth. With the colony gone, we could sample its structure, which we do need to do. That gives a lot of air. Wow. It is nest fragment. Okay. Don't think there's anything else here. There is not. Okay, we can go to the nest. You are going to use that. Helps a lot. And we should be able to get to safety in a moment. There we go. We found it. This place was pressurized at some point. It must have taken months of work to establish this lab. And just weeks of corrosion for it to fall into ruin. Looks like Minae was gathering those mineral skeletons, studying them. What secrets have you uncovered, Minae? How are these strange silicon spheres worth all this? Let's see. As we are now, Minae must have relied on the protective bubble these spheres provide to study the bloom and its ecosystem. More of these ornate silicate globes sit in the silt. These bubbles must have been both their refuge and their grave. Beyond the bubble, the angular shape of the lab's second module sits silent, wrapped with cords of microbial growth. And the equipment here suggests Minae was studying the mineral skeletons. Where she is cut through, the silica shines, pure silver. Okay, nest workers here. I don't care about that. What do we got here? Another sphere fragment. Which... we can use one of them here. Be nice and safe. Let's gather this one. Dissected skeletons. Not really anything else. Alright, to the bubble edge. And it looks like there's something to the south. These modules are so rapidly melting away. Are the bloom's microbes metabolizing the metal itself? The holed metal floor of the module reveals an opening to a passage below. This should give us some information. Hopefully. Minae must have laid this under the lab when she constructed it. The water is clearer here, shielded from the microbial clouds. We do have something. Machines glint in the dark. Papers and tools lie still on silt-speckled surfaces. It is as if the scene has been frozen, captured in time. What do we have here? This is not just a lab, it's a workshop. She was building something down here. It's a suit. It looks like she was modifying an old atmospheric hard suit. How deep was she planning to go? These are verified for beyond 1,000 meters. I'm going to see what I can pull from the notes and documents here. Some of them are still partially readable. The lack of water flow must have kept them in good condition. She was definitely speccing the suit for use beyond the drop-off, modifying it with the silicate skeletons. Artificers, she calls them. Exoskeletons of nanofibrous goethite, protecting a silicon carbide core. The pressure resistance of their exoskeleton is unprecedented for a biological material. That would take the depth rating of the hardsuit well past 3,000 meters. Incredible. But why go over the drop-off at all? Always pushing her forward. She was incredibly driven, desperate even. She mentions sending ROVs down to the abyssal plane, cobbled together from bits of the base. All of them were lost, and her work on the suit failed. That's where the notes seem to end. The most recent document mentions another way. Did she make it? How? The suit was so close to completion. Why abandon it? We have to make that dive. If I can fix up this suit, we can take it over the drop-off. Perhaps Minae managed it. We need to follow. I can do this. We can do this. Let's get back outside and call in the drone. Alright, nothing else here to look at. Oh, didn't actually need to do that. Okay, head up and call in the drone. Map to region, connection available. Calling in the link. Retrieval done. See what we get. Downtime 3.6 hours. Glad to see you're back online. Sorry for the rush, but we've got to move. I've been going through Minae's notes from her lab, and from what I can tell, she attempted a free dive over the drop-off. That's why she left her suit behind. She must have opened it up and descended. I know what you're thinking. There's no way she could free dive thousands of meters to the ocean floor. But that's what she did. Willingly. And we're going after her. We need to dive now. I've been working on the suit and it's almost ready. I've used sections of Minae's failed hard suit to modify our suit. Now it's a full atmospheric dive suit. Internally, we should be able to maintain one pressure of atmosphere for me and that casing of yours. It'll work just like before, but our depth rating is massively increased. We can hit 2, maybe 3,000 meters. The suit is in the bay, so load whatever samples you need. I've marked the drop-off on the map, we can dive there directly and search for any evidence there. I have no idea why she would do this. It's suicide. But she seemed to believe she could do it. Get ready to go. I'll be waiting. Sure. Let me just throw all these in here. One of which we need to study. Yeah, I think we can leave behind one of these fragments. So this mix-up here will work, which gives us 40 air, 10 power, 30 power. I think we'll be fine with 30 power, 40 air. So if we have an emergency, we can go back to it. Oh, new note here. Finding that laboratory in the bloom. It is almost like working with Minae again. I still have some good memories of Kepler 62F. Hours diving beneath the ice in that crystalline ocean, sampling the mineral deposits that Minae claimed were evidence of life. Our synchronized rhythms in the lab, working silently but in concert. Lying beside her in the too narrow berth, the creak of pack ice rattling down the base's spine. Those memories come with unwelcome ones attached. Ones of Minae's quiet judgment, her deep sadness, her flaring anger. For a few short months, that subglacial ocean was ours. Blocked from the universe outside by 5 kilometers of ice, its secrets were our own. Then Minae had other secrets too. Seems like I'll never escape her secrets. Here I am, living among them, drowning in them, picking through them in search of answers. Well, let's analyze this sample. It's the last one we got. Excellent. Alright, last bit we have here of the nesting weavers. The pieces of weaver nests we found offer an insight into the weaver's protective behavior. Wrapped in its threads are thousands of weaver eggs. This suggests that, like ants or termites, weavers are a eusocial species, with many generations of weavers protecting and maintaining a singular productive female. These weaver queens must be somewhere within the active weaver nests, protected by layers of silken threads and weaver workers. Nest fragments also revealed that the weavers farm their own food within the nest structure, carefully maintaining tubular fields of microbes, which through the weaver's careful cultivation seem to produce oxygen rather than the toxins that poison the bloom. How can this be possible? Weaver not to scale, okay. Weaving mandibles, translucent layered shell, and this is the nest. Okay, so that makes some sense. Don't think we really have anything else around here to look at. Can't do anything there. Alright. So we got the dive map. The drop-off dive location. So we can just head down. Before we do, there's something I'm curious about. There was another path over here. I just want to see this. Because we took one path that led out. Does the other lead to somewhere notable? Yeah, there was another path over here. Or maybe it was up in this direction. Yeah, I believe it was up over here. We just couldn't go this way because of that. Oh, no, I was wrong. I could have sworn there was another. Like, we saw that path, but I thought there was, like, another way across. I guess I was wrong. Only one way across. Okay. Never mind. I guess we'll be making this deep dive to whatever the hell is down there. Alright. To the drop-off. See where it goes. Are you back with me? We're 20 seconds from the ocean floor. I'm here. Good. I was getting lonely in here. We are descending fast. The drop is huge. 1.5 kilometers down. Let's stay focused. We have no data on this zone of the ocean. The light of Gliese 667CC's 3 stars barely makes it this deep. I've got my headlamps on. You'll have to be my eyes. I want to work my way along the slope to the northeast. We're looking for any trace of Minae or the ROVs she sent down here. Let's get to it. Shelf base. The sheer wall of the shelf descends through the faint light to curve into the thick silt of the slopes. Beyond the reach of the suit's lamps, the slopes descend slowly into the dark towards the abyssal plain. The heavy currents of the upper ocean don't reach down here, leaving the water still and silent, sediment suspended in the column. I saw something for a second there. A bioluminescent glow drifts through the silt, a faint but noticeable chemical blue. There is something here. What do you have to say? These silken creatures are almost transparent apart from those lights. What are they? These drifting veils of material appear to be creatures of some kind. They are pulsing faintly with pinpricks of light. This veil stretches away from the tangle of the group, reaching towards new territories. In the headlamps of the suit, I can occasionally see a vein-like texture to the surface of these veils. What substances sustain them? The veils are gathered in groups, which I am calling tangles. They seem to be intentional formations, but for what purpose? Diaphanous veils twitch, suspended in the water. They are seeded with pinpricks of bioluminescence, like distorted star fields. Though their soft shifting forms can be hard to see, this seems to mark the edge of one of the veils. The lights the veils produce come directly from beneath their skin. They shift from transparent to light-emitting in undulating waves. Between these two veils some clear water is visible, a temporary corridor between two hanging sheets. Something tells me if we try to go through them, we'll end up hurting ourselves. it just logically makes sense. I mean, if they provide bioluminescence, they'd probably sap our power. Though tangled and without any clear sensory organs, these creatures seem to have a strong control over their position in the water. Surrounded on all sides by drifting sheets of bioluminescence, the space is a fluid, shifting interior. Studded along the veils are the remains of creatures that have been confused by the lights and caught by these transparent hunters. A gap between the veils. Is it that these are two competing individuals, or is this just a temporary separation of a single group? At closer inspection, these veils are jeweled with the half-digested remains of other life, passing conveyor-like from one veil to the next. Here the tangle is receding, a few of its trailing veils hanging still in the dark water like the poised limbs of a dancer. Snare veil. Is that the name, then? I'm naming these strange creatures snare veils. They're such beautiful traps. This veil is blinking the same sequence of lights over and over. Perhaps this is a way of attracting curious prey into their grip. Wide, delicate silken panels of bioluminescent cells. They work in unison to trap and digest creatures which come too close. Well, we've got a sample here, so let's get it. Ow! Yep, I was right about it draining our power. And this is gonna give some power back. Good to know. I have a feeling there's not really anything else to these. I mean, yeah, there's a clearing, but... The veil delivered some kind of stunning electrical shock to the suit. Is that how they disable their prey? We should be careful of contact with this species. Clearly, and we've got digested remains. An unknown creature caught by a veil and partially digested. Wow, that actually takes a lot. Jeez. Why didn't Minae tell anyone about this place? The life here, it's the biggest discovery in human history. Do you think she's trying to protect it? It's possible. But then why bring me here? Maybe she expects me to keep her secrets too. She always had her secrets, but this feels bigger than that. Away from the veils, the water returns to its inky darkness, resisting the strong beams of the suit's lamps. And I see something over here. Silt is gathered around the base of two large outcrops, forming a natural respite from the steady downward pitch of the slopes. Dark basalt layers rise up out of the slope like fractured towers, each jagged layer carrying drifts of silver silt. These dark towers of angular stones are the telltale signs of volcanic processes active under the planet's surface. What must be one of Minae's improvised remote vehicles lies twisted in the silt. Could it have been disabled by the veils? I see life. This debris. It's one of Minae's ROVs. Wait! To my left, is that... It's her. Is that... Oh God. She's here. She's alive. We're reading life signs and she's breathing. That can't be right. How long has she been here? Lying in the silt. We have to bring her back to the base. But I don't... Okay. Focus, Ellery. What do we do? We can use the ROV to boost our signal to the base, send for the drone, then we can start the ascent. Get me back to the ROV debris and hook us up to the terminal. On it. Can get some power. We don't need the oxygen. Map data. Data released to pilot's console. Okay, we're synced. Call the drone now. We need to get her out of here. On it. How could she be alive 1.5 kilometers down? I didn't think humans could dive that deep. You're back. I need to talk. I'm on the medical level. She is totally unresponsive. I don't know what to do. I don't even understand how she's still alive. I keep going back to the image of her. Blue, silent, staring out of the silt. A thin stream of bubbles flickering from her mouth. How long has she been there? The pressure alone should have crushed her at that depth. This doesn't make sense. But she's alive. I need to talk to her, but nothing. I want to understand. I want to know what is going on here. I haven't seen her in years. Not since she left, and now here she is. Do you ever imagine all the things you are going to say to a person when you see them again? I've thought of that, yes. I wanted to scream at her, to whisper to her, to tell her. I came here for her. I don't know why I did, but I did. I think it's because I had to hope. For something to change, for there to be an explanation. For those months we spent together to mean something again. Sorry. I'm not making any sense. This makes twice. 2 times she's turned my life upside down. At least this time I knew what I was signing myself up for. It's not like I had anywhere else to be. The further I am from that dying planet, the better. What comes next? We keep going. She was looking for something out here. Something important enough to leave her like this. It's our turn to take that forward, to find that explanation. I think she built that lab in the Bloom to study those mineral skeletons. Artificers, she called them. Something was leading her deeper, beyond the drop-off. Let's start with those ROVs she sent out. Maybe they found something we didn't. I'll mark their last known positions on the dive map. And I'll be here, until you're ready to go. Comatose state, muscle loss apparent, erratic brain activity, and administering a sedative. And a new message. She's still alive. I never thought I would see her again. Not after she sliced the core from the base on Kepler 62F and took the shuttle to God knows where. I spent weeks slowly freezing in that base, waiting for the Baikal team to come get me. After that, it all fell apart. There was never any life on Kepler 62F. Minae had faked the whole thing. She wanted the data core she knew Baikal would provide when she gave them evidence of first contact. Baikal blamed me, and my work as a consulting biologist collapsed. I limped back to Earth to take a post-grad position on that dying planet. There's little need for marine biologists in a place where the only oceanic life is kept in tourist-choked reserves. That's where I stayed, watching the endless exodus of humans with enough money to leave, looking out across the dead ocean at the pinpricks of their shuttles' rocket flares. Until Minae called me here, I should blame her for everything. Until Minae called me here. I should blame her for everything, but I just want to know why. Perhaps now, if she ever wakes up, I can ask her. Well, there's a bit of a lore dump. So apparently Earth is dying at this point. Not sure what it is, but if all the ocean life is effectively dead and what's left is just kept alive on its own, and that must mean that we're heading out into the stars in order to try and find other life, another world that we can live on. Hopefully not kill. Well, we can put the samples in here. It's fine by me. Alright, taxonomy, Colatata, distributed bodies, snare veil. Snare veils are unique, soft-bodied creatures that resemble a thin sheet of silk studded with lights. Found in tangles of multiple individuals, their hypnotic swaying and flickering lights make them difficult to see in their entirety. But from my initial observations, they appear to be flat panels of bioluminescent cells which are faintly veined with both a nervous and a digestive system. Veils survive by capturing creatures which swim onto their surface, somehow stunning or killing them, and then digesting them on the exterior of their bodies. I have also observed veils passing prey from one individual to another, suggesting that they have some kind of social interaction between individuals. Analysis of the digested remains they leave behind might give some clues as to their predatory behavior. Well, we have a food sample, but we need a tissue sample. Well, let's get a food sample analysis. There we go. So let's see what you have to say about it. Analysis of unknown remains found nearby a veil tangle shows that this creature captures and kills its prey through an electrical charge. This charge, presumably produced by electric organs that sit beneath the veil's outer membrane, can produce incredibly high voltage amounts, and the remains analyzed show significant damage from these electrical discharges. The remains also suggest that the veils use electrical pulses to control the muscles and nervous systems of captured creatures, forcing them to swim deeper into the grip of the veil when captured. The veil's manipulation of electrical symbols seems highly nuanced, and they may be able to use them for the detection of prey, and even communication between individuals. In order to confirm these theories, analysis of veil tissue is necessary, although this may prove difficult. All we've got left is the dive map. We're not going to be able to get back to here for a while, I think. Not until we can figure out a way to get in there. But we've got, let's see. Another one of Minae's improvised ROVs stopped transmitting somewhere here after sending back some strange geological readings. And the data sent back by Minae's ROVs shows one logged its last known position out here before going dark. So we've got 2 areas to look at and no indication of where we can get a tissue sample. Still, I think we're probably going to head east and take a look down in this area of the depths, and we'll take a look in this area at another time. It looks like first we need to go over to here. That said, I am going to go ahead and end this episode here. It says there's more, but I don't see... Yeah, I don't see what more it's trying to say there is. Anyway, next episode we'll head down there and continue exploring in the deep depths here. Till then, I am Chester44, also known as Fly. This has been a Let's Play of In Other Waters, and I shall see you all next time.